The way you do that is by doing a method called system.out.println. And this prints it out to the console. And don't worry about what any of this stuff means, but basically there's a class called system, and I'm running these two methods on it by doing the dot property. You can do multiple dots for multiple methods. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to paste it within the AJ_add_to_duck method, and now this should work. And it's giving me an error. And the reason because it's giving me an error, let's see what the error says. The method println boolean in the type printstream is not applicable to the type void. So now we've ran into a problem. So my add_to_duck method is void, meaning that it returns nothing. And the println method is trying to print out what this method I am calling is returning. But since it's returning nothing, it's talking to me and giving me an error. It's like, AJ, what gives, man? I need something to print out and you're returning nothing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to now change my add_to_duck method from public void to public int. So I am telling this method, hey, I'm going to return an int. And I do this saying return. I'm making an integer, so I'm telling it I'm going to return an integer or a variable that has an integer in it. And I simply click return. So what I'm doing here is, again, I'm running the operation. I'm adding duck to the number and then assigning that new duck variable to the original duck. And then I'm returning it. So I'm saying, oh, hey, here you go, method. Return this number so you can do other stuff on it. So as you can see, that little error went away now, because now I have made this new object. I am running this method on the object to change the variable with inside the object to 15, and now I am printing it out to the console. Now I'm going to print it out, and finally it works. I get 15, my desired result. And this would work for all of them, as I could change this method to -duck5, and I should get 5, because it would be 10 minus 5. But as again, I need to change this to int, so it returns an int, and then again add the return statement, so then it knows to return duck after it does this operation. So it will do this whole operation, and then it will finally return the new duck variable after I've minused it. And the same thing would go for minus and division, as long as I make them return an integer and put the return statement as I have done the previous statements. Now, a quick thing I want to do, and let me just show this so quickly. See, as you can see, 5, because I did 10 minus 5. And we're going to go back to the mod duck statement for a second. I just want to show you guys that indeed I was not joking about the mod duck statement, and that hopefully this will print out 1. Again, I forgot I need to make that int, and I needed to return the int that I do the mod by. And I just pressed Control-Shift-F. That should format Java for you. And here we go. It gives 1 because it's going 10 divided by 3. What's the remainder? The remainder is 1. Now let's say I do 10 mod -5. What would be 10 divided, the remainder after 10 divided by -5? Well, the answer is 0. And some people use mod functions to remind you that a mod function will always return a positive integer, even though I'm dividing it by a negative integer. So again, still 10 divided by -3 would yield -3, remainder of 1. Because then again, how many times does -3 go into 10 is -3 times, but it still has a remainder of 1. This application is used a lot. Okay, so again, guys, just make sure you remember that you have to, if you want to be able to print something out to the console, you have to make it return a variable, and you want to use the dot operator when you create a new object. Make sure you know how this line is. You want the type of the object, which is the name, the variable you want it to be. This could be anything. It could be AJN, which is my whole name, and you have to make it a new juice object. And then you can use the dot operator to call methods and change the state or values of that object. As you can see, I have the minus duck method, the multiply duck method, the mod duck method. I have all these other methods I inherit from a class called object. But I don't want to get into that now. That's a little top stuff now for what we're doing now. But as you can see, this is a basic calculator and you can manipulate it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. And wow, this is a really long tutorial. I will probably split this into 2 parts. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day